This is Zamella Earthling doing some daily tarot inspiration and encouragement. I'm going to start with the Rumi Oracle. Okay, the first card is the right choice. Stay close to those who know about the heart. Choose the shade of a tree that is in constant bloom. Don't meander aimlessly among the herb sellers and potion vendors. Go directly to the shop that sells nothing but sweets. Don't sit waiting by every boiling pot to have your plate filled. Not every boiling pot is cooking what you want. Not every sugar cane is filled with sugar. Not every down has an up. Not every eye has vision. Not every sea contains pearls. A quote from Rumi. Within you, I recognize my most trusted friend. Ah, we go back a long way to before that moment when time began. We knew each other then, even before time was born. So I say, hello, my old and dear friend, so lovely for us to meet again. And I feel how your heart responds with a wave of love, for it is that love that is you, my most trusted friend. On the path of love, there is not so much wrong and right in the moral sense, so much as what is wrong or right for you. The mind cannot help so much here. Only the heart can speak such truths. The mind may reject it, recoil, analyze, and find all the reasons why the simple truth, the right choice of the heart, cannot possibly work and only leads to pain. That is what the mind does rather well, actually. But it doesn't mean the right choice, the heart choice, becomes incorrect. It means, rather, that the heart has outsmarted the mind, and the mind will need to bow to the heart, even without understanding its sometimes impenetrable mysteries. Or one can choose to stay in inner conflict, fighting against the right choice, but eventually love will prevail and the way forward must be taken. So can you give up what you have planned, believed, or decided? Let the heart wisdom that silently and constantly broadcasts its pure and true intention into the fertile womb of the universe lead the way instead. It will lead you along the right path to the right house where sits the right master for you. He grabs you in a bear hug and gently whispers into your ear, "What took you so long? I've been waiting for you since the day you were born. Now we are together, it's time for us to play." It is said that one man's meat is another man's poison. To base your choices on what others have chosen for themselves may end up killing you. Better to take your risks on the angel of your own heart, wise being that it is, and dance to your own heart rhythm instead. There may be fear if others seem to be dancing different steps, but beloved, you know that is just because every heart has its own unique rhythm, and yours doesn't want to waltz so much as to tango. So why not allow it to be thus without fear or doubt? This oracle comes with a message for you. In your heart, you know what holds meaning for you. You may or may not have a grand vision to go along with that meaning as yet, but deep within, you know what is without value and what holds value for you. You were born with those values intact in your heart, and whatever confusion has arisen for you along the way is just where the values of others has transfused into your own blood. It is time for a transfusion of holy light into that blood to be cleansed and purified, restored to its integrity and filled with passion for what is rightfully yours, your unique passion and purpose. If you have been concerned about your path and what steps to take next, this oracle comes as an omen of good things headed your way, clarity, reassurance, truth, and revelation. Don't hold on to a belief system or a vision if it appears to be tossed on its head. Let things go the way they will, and good fortune will prevail for you. That vision might actually have been upside down all this time, and suddenly able to right itself and be born for you if allowed to topple. Or perhaps there is a more fulfilling version of your vision lurking in its remnants, to be scooped up by your soul with its hawk vision and eagle deftness. Trust that if you are being drawn away from a tantalizing sweet shop, there is a more delicious array of confection just around the corner for you. So yes, have your tantrum if you must, but you will be sheepish soon when you realize the hand of the great beloved that removes is the same hand that bestows even greater gifts. For the sacred honoring ritual, turn the palms of your hands down towards the earth. Say aloud, "With gratitude and trust, I release that which is not rightfully mine." Open your hands upward towards the sky. Say aloud, "I give thanks for the grace that is bestowed upon me now as I accept my rightful divine inheritance." Stand with your hands in prayer at your heart and say aloud, "I honor my heart wisdom. May my heart always be leading light, showing me the way of grace. So be it." You have completed your honoring ritual. The next card is the lion and the deer. When you enter the garden of the heart, you become fragrant like the rose. When you fly towards heaven, you become graceful like the angel. If you get burned like oil, you become brilliant. When you become thin like hair and yearning, your joy leads the way. You'll be the kingdom and the king. You'll be paradise and the guardian angel. You'll be infidelity and you'll be faith. You'll be the lion and you'll be the deer. You are the lion and the deer. You are bold, fierce, and vibrant, and you are silent, sweet, and gentle. If I should come to you in arrogance, you roar at me until my falsehood quakes in fear, so terrified it gives up the game and love's conquest happens yet again. If I should come to you in surrendered adoration, open to whatever you may wish, you are gentle with me. Like a deer, you offer me nothing to fear or resist, so that I too become sweet and gentle, longing to submit to your tender ministrations. So then, I do not fear my own errors, for even if I stumble into arrogance, I shall be made wiser by your magnificent roar and become humble. Even if I become weak, I shall draw succor, evoking the tenderness in you. Whatever is needed to keep me true to love, is what you give me, for you are the holy lion, proud and mighty, and the sweet deer, gentle as the mildest breezes of spring. Hello, my old friend. Do you remember me? We are the oldest of friends. Ancient soulmates we are, acquainted over many lifetimes past, and through many lessons learned together in the school of love. So here we meet again, in this advanced spiritual training of the human experience, with the earth as our classroom. The moment is upon us to leave behind what we have once known, and to open up to the great mystery of life again. Our souls leapt from the divine oneness through the river of forgetfulness and now dive into a body and a life. What a journey that leap begins. Let us embark on the studious adventure together. Let us honor the tiger and the lamb within each other, the lion and the deer. I can witness in you both the raging warrior who fights with unbreakable honor, and to the healer who brings together those things torn apart. Of course, for are we not all things? Are we not human and angel, animal and spirit? Are we not heaven and earth? Are we not divine? And in being divine, being all things are divine. So we are here together in the school of love, not for the soul who still adheres to preference instead of curiosity, not for the soul who craves comfort instead of devotion to divine adventure. We must be like lovers, you and I, if we are to take these lessons. We must be willing to become mad with passion, crazy enough to chase the great beloved, even if it means forgetting who we are for a time to have the sacred delight of rediscovery, breaking some rules and looking like fools. Well, what could be greater than becoming a fool for love? That will do for us. That will do well. Let us be fools for love together. So shall we become study mates? We'll recognize each other, even in all our varied garbs, bright or somber, wild or gentle. We'll become the most enthusiastic students in the school of love, urging each other on to even greater feats of passion and devotion. How we shall outdo each other in grand gestures and our unwavering commitment. This oracle brings you a special message. You are rediscovering a part of yourself that has been lost or submerged underneath the more practical concerns. Of course, if practicality is about survival, then learning to be your true self is most essential and practical. All other paths lead to death of the soul. You are asked to bear the chaos of this rediscovery. It may be that talents from this or other lifetimes are reawakened and cause you some discomfort at first, even though they will ultimately bring joy and greater fulfillment. The discomfort may be around how those talents are best expressed, about overcoming shame, guilt, doubt, or other judgments. Maybe even about who you are, if you now admit your talent to other emerging personality traits. Perhaps what is unearthed in you now is darker, your sacred rage, refusal to accept disrespect in your life, your inability to tolerate lies and deceptions. Well then, you are the lion and the deer. That is nature. There is to be both in the world. You are not becoming contradictory or hypocritical. You are becoming whole. The guidance this oracle brings you is that you shall prosper most now if you are willing to unbecome what you have believed yourself to be. It was never really true anyways, that view. It was partial at best, and just a view, an identity, not a genuine reality. Some of your previous sense of self shall likely come with this transition into the fuller experience of your being, and some of that previous identity shall be shed as far too limiting. It just won't feel true for you anymore, if it ever did. Any crisis or confusion this brings you shall be temporary fuel to ignite the divine fires within. They simmer into life, cooking you from within, bringing all of your flavors, spicy and sweet, bitter and sour, into perfect balance so that your being, your presence, becomes an exquisite dish served up as a divine feast. You shall become nourishment for all the world in perfect balance. Your being will hold all, for it holds all within it. It will deny nothing, and become a tonic to feed every taste, every appetite, every hunger, and every deficiency. What an extraordinary, sublime meal you shall be! How your presence shall nourish the world! And it all begins with shedding the either and the or, and recognizing instead the all. With such wild permission for unconditional love, you shall thrive in your beingness and feed the hungry world with a meal complete, satisfying, and exquisite. For the sacred honoring ritual, say aloud, Rumi, who loves me unconditionally, bears witness to my declaration now. I honor the spiritual maturity within me that bestows upon my consciousness this sacred task. I have accepted the fundamental goodness of my being, and can now cast aside all notions held of myself and inquire into my wholeness. What nestles alongside this goodness? All, of course. I am unafraid. I honor my heart, and it is big enough to hold all my nature within its graceful light. I witness my darkness with compassion, and I become able to dance with all of my being, light and dark, in graceful acknowledgement of my divine wholeness. The gentle acceptance of all of me now brings me peace. This acceptance allows the divine to live fully through me as a vessel for the great mysterious plan unfolding upon the earth. With reverence, grace, and surrender, so be it. You can sit quietly for a few moments and gaze at the image upon the card. Notice the colors, the interplay of light and dark that create the one beautiful image. This represents you. All light and all dark would have no art at all remaining, only extremes. It is in the interplay of light and dark that enables the living art in progress, your soul, to come most fully to life. When you are ready, simply say thank you. You have completed your ritual. So this card is also about being able to express your emotions fully and not being pressured to be too nice or play social games or meet other people's expectations of what they expect you to do. So being really confident in yourself and your boundaries and not judging yourself for whatever you feel. The next card is the Whirling Goddess. Lose your head. Not a single thread that has a head can go through the eye of the needle. Quote by Rumi. Come, my love, are you dizzy yet? If you can still find your feet, that is okay with me. But if you can still find your head, then I will take issue. There is a great dance, but it cannot be danced with choreographed steps. No, this great dance demands a response rather than an initiation, a reaction rather than a direction. So let us dissemble and lose our heads to the greater music, the rhythm held steady in our beating hearts. Our feet shall be moving whilst our minds, inadequate to the task, take the night off. There is somewhere you are meant to be. It is here, now, in this moment. There is a gift right under your nose, and fragrant wine in your glass, gleaming red as the most precious rubies. To be here, now, you must pass through the keyhole, but your head will tell you this is not possible unless the door is unlocked, even though your body is passing through the keyhole of that locked door into the endless world beyond. Leave your mind to be in its struggles for a moment. Without you laying witness to it, your mind will become like the dog howling for his master's return, even as he steps out the front door. Frustrated temporarily, he will chew on some shoes, then fall asleep peacefully until his master returns. So leave your mind trusting, chewing a little, until you are truly through the keyhole when it can rest. Leave it be. Instead, come dance with me. This oracle brings you a message. You are at the point of growth where your mind can hold you back rather than urge you forward. If you have, like so many, used your mind to support you, to shore up your sense of self in the world, and to gain a sense of certainty about how the world works, then this is no easy leap. It will seem as though you are being asked to pass through the keyhole. Of course, your mind will stop and argue for all the reasons why the door should be opened instead of remaining closed, making the task seem so much harder than it needs to be. But this is the mind in resistance. Don't place too much stock in the claims that life should be other than it is. You are being asked to dance rather than to understand, to lay the thoughts to rest and to come alive. It is the bravest, most trusting soul that dares put the mind to one side and say, "Tonight we dance, my heart and I, in the great rousing music of the beloved's beating heart, and I will not miss one step." And to awaken the next day and do that all over again, and again, and again. You are ready, you see, sweet soul dancer. You are ready to live beyond what you know, to have it not matter if you don't understand how life can work itself out, or it could be that someone so normal and ordinary as you and I could also be so magnificent, wild, and divine. The need for answers and plans, assurances and explanations is passing out of your world now. You are not to wait for permission, for explanation, or even for another dance partner, for I am already inviting you onto the great dance floor. You are to let go of any stigma around not knowing. When someone asks you what you are going to do next or how you are going to manage, you are given this divine mandate. With relish, reveal the truth. I do not know. Know nothing and dance, sweet soul, for all will unveil itself to you in perfect harmony and timing. Your heart shall create the steps in response to the music of the spheres happening now, alive and spontaneous and free. This oracle brings you a special message. If there is an issue apparently unsolvable or unknowable in your life now, the divine is still handling it. The divine is in the middle of it, working through the knot and unraveling it. Fear not. Do the sacred ritual and give yourself permission to take the night off from worry. Repeat this heavenly prescription daily as needed. For the sacred honoring ritual, say aloud, I give my heart permission to lead this dance. I give my mind some time off. No more worry or doubt, planning or resisting. Instead, I surrender. Instead, I open. Instead, I allow, I allow, I allow. And all unfolds with perfection, divine timing, and the miracle of grace. With Rumi as my sole witness, so be it. You have completed your honoring ritual. Okay, so I'm going to do the white light oracle. The first card here is the Deer of Delta. Without any force, you can overcome even extreme negativities. Your real nature is gentle, which is powerful in its own unique way. You do not need to become something you are not. You can confidently and effectively invoke spiritual protection from the light. You can never be dominated or bullied at a spiritual level, because the real you is always empowered and protected in the light. Some things can only happen when we let go at the deepest inner level. Regenerative healing is one of them. Shamans of old understood that to obtain transformational awareness, one has to sever themselves from the world as one knows it, to unlearn what one once knew, to be reborn. In that rebirth, a new understanding and vitality, clarity and purpose can emerge. The shamanic realm is the realm of the delta brainwave, the state of deep sleep. Here one is completely unconscious. There is temporary paralysis at this level, which allows for the deepest healing and renewal. Here, the gateway to the universal mind is entered and the precious recalibrating treasures of healing are gained. In Delta, we surrender completely to a great and powerful intelligence far beyond our understanding. At 0 Hz to 4 Hz, Delta waves are the slowest and most stabilizing of the brain waves. This is the state in which the body recovers from injury, and the brain has a chance to check off its list of deferred repairs and healing and restore optimal function. This includes the capacity to learn and the healthy functioning of the immune system, physically and also emotionally, so we are not contaminated or confused by the emotional or psychic workings of the world around us. This oracle brings guidance that the healing you need cannot come from logical sources but requires a deep letting go and restructuring from within. Consider what practices and people could help facilitate this process in your life. Consider how you may value and encourage deep restorative sleep and regular retreats as part of your lifestyle. The Greek nymph Teget called upon her beloved goddess Artemis to protect her from unwanted advances from a powerful suitor. In response, the goddess transformed Teget into a doe, so she would be safe from harm. Teget teaches us that we can become vulnerable like the gentle deer in the spiritual sanctuary of our devotion, protected by a greater source. Then there is no need to become aggressive or harsh to defend ourselves from the aggression of another. We can let go and allow ourselves to be held. This is a way to ward off negativities without needing to disconnect from our softness and grace. Even if you are dealing with intense negativities from a particularly powerful opponent, Deer of Delta encourages you to call for spiritual intervention with complete confidence in the grace that will instantly and consistently be bestowed. Your strength and power can flow from your spiritual connection. If you have been advised to toughen up, you're encouraged to instead remain true to yourself and find your strength within. For the healing process, be seated somewhere comfortable. If you are a visual person, you can follow the visualization. Allow the symbols to enter into your soul without having to analyze or interpret them. If you're more of a feeling person, notice any emotions or sensations that arise as you do so, and allow them to soak into your soul without needing to analyze or interpret them. To prepare yourself, connect consciously with your breath as it flows in and out. Allow the breath to become deeper and more complete, calming and centering you in the present moment. You may place a hand over your heart to connect with your inner essence. Relax. Allow yourself to become receptive at a heart level, open and willing to take in symbolic nourishment to empower, protect, and heal you. When you are ready, read or visualize the following description. You're at the edge of a green forest on a mild spring day. Sunlight filters softly through the canopy, creating a golden haze. A small clearing is illuminated by the diffuse light. There, a sweet doe gently nuzzles at some grasses. She is peaceful and intent upon her task. The scene exudes a feeling of tranquility. You see that tranquility is a field of energy. It is a protective bubble of light that encapsulates the deer and keeps her safe. You have the sense that even though she may appear to be alone, she is protected by an invisible field of grace. Despite her apparent vulnerability, you'll feel safety and power around spirit deer. She survives and thrives whilst being in her own true nature. Rest in this visualization or feeling for as long as you choose. If you wish, allow that feeling of gentleness and safety to emerge from within your own heart and envelop you in a bubble of protective spiritual light as you drift into deeper rest or even sleep. When you are ready to emerge, place both hands at your heart. Allow yourself time to fully enter the here and now. Ground and hydrate yourself. You have completed your healing process. 528 Hz, Mandala of the Heart. Sometimes, aspects of our life fall apart or don't go to plan. This is so they can come back together in a beautiful new way. Trust in the goodness, in the inevitable blessing of your destiny falling into place. Do not trust your fears. Put your faith in the love of your heart. A heartfelt wish is going to manifest. The mandala of the heart is the expression of the divine feminine power within. It is the life-changing experience of love, healing, compassion, deep repair and restoration that can only happen when we feel safe and loved enough to truly let go. Despite the wounded opinions of ego might have one believe, love is the most powerful consciousness on the planet. It is also highly intelligent. As we open to heal with the frequency of love in our hearts, we naturally evoke the positive effects in the lives of others too. We attract positive intervention from spirit. Pathways open up. Magic happens. Love is the path to the transformational, the alchemical, and the miraculous. It is the means by which negative patterns are reversed, and the original purity and beauty of our innate spiritual perfection can manifest itself in all dimensions, including the physical. We may feel we are bumbling along, yet we are blessed with an invisible, powerful field of grace moving with us, ensuring that our actions yield the best outcomes and that we attract what we truly want and need. The heart has access to a wisdom more powerful than logic, which can overcome any obstacle. To enter into that wisdom, we have to trust in something greater than our own opinions and our allegiance to our history. Your heart is more than connected to the universal heart. It is a holographic emanation, part of the sacred mandala of the divine feminine heart, and as such, holds divine genius and power. It wants to manifest that which is evolving, new, inspired, and beautiful. To believe that history must repeat itself, or that what we imagine is the limit of what can happen, is to deny the power of the heart and the generosity of divine grace. We need radical lovers and inspired dreamers who dare to invite in the most outlandishly blessed interventions of the universal heart for all beings. You have it within your heart to be one of those prayer alchemists for humanity. 528 Hz is the love frequency of creation. The choices, decisions, and projects inspired by love have countless and far-reaching positive effects. As we tune into that inner frequency, we connect to all hearts in a powerful alchemical network which delivers an infusion of divine protection and uplifting wisdom into the human collective. Priestesses, sound alchemists, and heart healers work with these frequencies, understanding their capacity to evoke the alchemical and the miraculous. These are our spiritual brothers and sisters, cultivating and radiating the consciousness of love, that soothing and courage-inducing medicine of the soul. This oracle affirms that honoring deep soul bonds and sharing healing with your soul tribe is an important facet of your purpose. You have the power of love in your heart. It is the healing spiritual glue that can bring people together for a higher purpose. It inspires others and generates positive energy to lighten the emotional load many souls carry. You are being put on notice that the Divine Feminine has a vision for your soul and is organizing events accordingly. She will guide you through your heart, and with her protection, the manifestation of your soul path is assured. For the healing process, take a moment to consciously connect to the flow of your breath. Let the breath flow in and out, and allow yourself to deepen and lengthen the breaths, especially the exhalation. Lightly place a hand over your heart with reverence and respect. Allow your awareness to travel on the breath, going deeper and deeper and dropping into your heart. You can feel, imagine, see, or intend that your heart is a sacred temple, a beautiful place filled with light and space. Rest within your heart with love and acknowledgement of its precious nature. If there is pain in your heart from this or other lifetimes, you can witness it gently and with compassion, thus allowing it to dissolve in the beauty, light, space, and love. Allow your sense of love for your heart and the love that your heart has for you to become strong and nourishing. Become peaceful and healed through your own heart connection now. You do not need to force anything. Love holds space for all experiences. You can rest in that sacred holding of the heart. When you have rested for long enough, ground and hydrate yourself. You have completed your healing process. The third card is Aurora of Gamma. It is time to let go of what has been. You are swiftly outgrowing your past. Explore and commit to a spiritual practice that supports your personal transformation so that you can cross the threshold before you now. Embrace your freedom to be creative in your approach rather than doggedly committing yourself to your previous ideas or plans. You have the spiritual intelligence necessary to evolve. Continue your healing journey with trust that a positive outcome is imminent. Aurora is the Roman goddess of the dawn, the bringer of light, and initiatrix of a new cycle or chapter in your life. She is the luminous dispeller of darkness, the flickering flame of hope in the heart that can burn into such a radiant holy fire that even the greatest challenges do not cause the soul to turn away in fear. Her presence in a reading signifies a fresh start and the overcoming of an old cycle. Gamma waves are high frequency, typically 40 Hz in humans, but extending to higher levels with hypergamma oscillating at around 100 Hz. Associated with spiritual insight and clarity, pure vision and breakthrough awareness, the gamma state is associated with high-level processing that leads to integration and evolution. With the gamma frequency, we transform knowledge into wisdom through application. We tap into our ability to integrate information, and in doing so, are truly healed and transformed. As the world around us becomes increasingly complex, the capacity for superior processing is swiftly becoming necessary for the spiritual, emotional, psychological, and even physical well-being of humanity. There is a strong link between spiritual practices such as meditation and the production of gamma waves. When we experience a heightened state of spiritual awareness, an expansive sense of being, or a powerful connection with the universe or spirit, our brain is in gamma mode. Shifting our gray matter gears into gamma waves can facilitate the breaking up of stagnant modes of thinking and behaving. This is the sacred frequency of evolution. Humans who are stuck in patterns repeat the same stories, the same words, the same thoughts over and over, as though on a repeated loop. The soul can begin to wither within such constriction. What is needed is something new and increasingly alive, such as the life-stimulating grace of encounters with the unfamiliar. Connection to gamma waves can enhance our capacity to embrace the unfamiliar, and through that openness of being, constructive adaptation is enhanced. Our way of being becomes more fluid, responsive, and creative. We engage with our experiences and grow positively through how we respond to what is happening. Aurora of gamma indicates a shift into a new cycle, but also the growing presence of the light within, which is the creative light of spirit. Tuning into that light opens up options for living soulfully, away from the grip of ignorance, no longer constantly ensnared by the compelling but ultimately fraudulent conjurations of ego. Her new era is an inner transformation with positive external consequences. Trust in what your inner light is manifesting in your heart and in our world. For the healing process, settle into a comfortable position and consciously connect with your breath as it flows in and out. When you are ready, close your eyes and relax. Focus on your breath, allowing it to become deeper and slower, perhaps even with a slight pause after inhalation and a slight pause after exhalation. As you relax, the pauses may lengthen. Allow this to be natural and unforced. Your awareness can gently settle within the center of your brain. Let there be a soft light there, glowing, expanding, and bringing a sense of peace, openness, and relaxation into your brain. Rest here for as long as it feels good. As your awareness gently settles within the center of your heart, let there be a soft light there, glowing, expanding, and bringing a sense of peace, openness, and relaxation into your heart. Rest here for as long as it feels good. Your awareness then gently settles within your lower belly. There is a soft light there, glowing, expanding, and bringing a sense of peace, openness, and relaxation into your stomach, belly, and down to your colon. Rest here for as long as feels good. These three lights align so that a soft bridge of light can form between them. The bridge rises, connecting the lower body to your heart and your heart to your brain. Let your awareness rest at the top of your head. Let there be light and stillness beneath any activity going on or within around you. Rest here for as long as you wish. When you are ready, bring your awareness back to the outer surfaces of your body and the flow of your breath. Take as much time as you need to ground yourself and hydrate your body. You have completed your healing process. Next, I'll be using the Earth Warriors Oracle. The first card of the Earth Warriors Oracle is Kanini. In each other we find ourselves. There is a spiritual purpose that only you can fulfill. As you move forward on your journey, you create space for others to move along behind you, and as the ones ahead of you move forward, so too does room open up for your expansion. Upon this earth we are all building the sacred temple, each fulfilling our tasks as we assist and support each other in our collective divine mission. How can you help with your heart most actively engaged? What can you offer which inspires and energizes you so much that others are uplifted in your presence? How can you receive from others joyfully, bringing them pleasure? Engage in giving and receiving deeply and with devotion. Your wisdom and openness to life generates healing for our earth. Healing is indicated, especially of wounds about connection and trust, safety and tribe, belonging and permission to be a unique individual. At a physical level, more vitality is indicated, and ample energy for healing. At a spiritual level, a deepening awareness of unified consciousness is opening up within you, which will bring you into deeper divine communion and increase your effectiveness as a healing presence and sacred activist in this world. You have a destiny to fulfill, and there will be much help from many different people to fulfill it. The universe wants you to succeed. Do not hesitate to ask and receive assistance, for your fulfillment of your own mission helps others. The first peoples of Australia recognized sacred connectedness between the spiritual and the earthly, and the bond that exists between all beings. They refer to this as Kanyini. In South Africa, the concept of Ubuntu describes a universal bond connecting all of humanity. Ubuntu and Kanyini honor the understanding that the individual grows and develops, flourishes and expresses purpose and meaning in connection with the greater guiding purpose of the collective. To honor Kanyini, to honor Ubuntu, means to honor ourselves and each other as we seek out and fulfill our purpose for the greatest good. Our purpose is what brings our being to life, what we feel we must naturally do. There is loving and healing genius in the divine design and in the fulfillment of our authentic spiritual destiny. So are all beings assisted in the fulfillment of their destiny too. There are times when the spiritual path requires separation from a collective and the consciousness it holds. We may feel an internal disconnection from society during such phases, as we sift through the societal conditioning, casting aside that which does not strike us as truth, and seeking alternative views. As we distill our consciousness, we discover a new way to be. Then, when it is time, we naturally seek to live and share this internal truth with others. We reach out to our tribe, or discover new tribes, integrating into the social fold with our precious offering of rarefied awareness. We realize that conflict with societal values serves a purpose. It helps us clarify our own consciousness, so we grow stronger spiritually, psychologically, and emotionally. Our offering to our communities can then become a numinous alchemical wisdom. A person in alignment with Kanyini becomes a conduit for the intelligence of life itself. Their personal journey has a transpersonal effect. They become sacred activists at a deep level of being. Through their presence, things happen. They become a natural catalyst for healing transformation. A human enriched with Ubuntu is open to others, encouraging of the good in other human beings. They are self-assured, knowing that they have an inviolable place and purpose in life. They understand that they can only gain from assisting others. So the spiritual progress of another person and the sacred empowerment that comes from it is inspirational, rather than a source of jealousy or self-doubt. In the Tibetan Buddhist tradition, the principles of Kanyini and Ubuntu are found in the Bodhisattva vow, where great souls plunge themselves into sacred service for the spiritual liberation of all sentient beings. These teachings help us evolve from competition to the realization that the moment another is oppressed, denied, or diminished, suffering is released into the collective. The more sensitive we are spiritually, the more we recognize this, and the more motivated we become to serve the evolution of humanity for the benefit of all beings. Kanyini reminds us that we can't thrive as a human being in isolation. Our humanity happens in connection with each other, through our relationship to the earth and Great Spirit. Spirit wants this for each one of us. We are provided the grace to heal wounds and open our hearts so that we can discover our belonging to each other and to the divine. And through this, an authentic and compelling sense of devotion to purpose that heals our world. For the healing process, find a place to sit or lie comfortably. Imagine, feel, or visualize that every being on the earth is being blessed by divine love. Silently, with reverence and joy, see every being captured within a circle of golden light. It wraps itself lovingly around the earth. Plants, animals, human beings, trees, bugs, lost souls, and isolated humans, all beings are included in the divine's encircling embrace. A feeling of peace, unity, and healing builds within this circular field. Rest here for as long as feels good. When you are ready, gently arise from your meditation and say, "May all beings know peace, divine love, and merciful protection. May each one of us know true belonging and fulfill our sacred purpose with open hearts and willing minds. So be it." You can place your hands in prayer and bow your head. You have finished your healing process. The next card is White Buffalo Woman. Hopeful heart, see her sign. Have hope, for you are pure of heart, and White Buffalo Woman appears as the divine sign of rebirth and harmony. She is the way-shower who lives as one with Great Spirit. She teaches the practices that will free and empower us all. She heralds the birth of the divine upon a new earth. You are held in her heart, and you will recognize her beautiful grace of spirit in your own. This oracle signifies hope and reunion after a challenging or dark time. There will be harmony and a coming together in sacred purpose after putting pain or conflict behind you. A birth of something pure and true shall happen under the auspices of Great Spirit. Forgive yourself and others and lay claim to the purity and goodwill that is your heart's true nature. Spiritual blessing is bestowed. Your actions are in accord with heaven. Complete release and renewal shall take place. The good and true will triumph in the end. Have faith, for your prayers are being answered. In the Native American tradition, the Syak's mother, White Buffalo Woman, is a symbol of rebirth and spiritual promise. The story of her coming tells of two young men who witnessed her divine radiance. One watched with appropriate awe, whilst the other simply desired White Buffalo Woman's body and stretched out his hand to touch her. His disrespect cost him his life, as lightning struck him down, just as the correct recognition afforded the other man spiritual blessing. White Buffalo Woman evokes the restoration of the sacred. She demands respectful relationship with each other. Whether you like the person or agree with their various worldviews is irrelevant, and requires that we each assume our rightful place in the community, which means not discounting your talents nor trying to take a place by force. For those of us attempting to awaken higher values in closed hearts that are unwilling to shift from more self-serving ways, White Buffalo Woman brings a message of divine justice. This is not about revenge or a mean-spirited definition of karma and people getting what they deserve, for if one is disconnected enough from the heart to be self-serving, then one is already in a living hell. The divine justice that White Buffalo Woman heralds is the restorative and correcting power of Great Spirit that will always find a way. If Great Spirit needs to use an unlikely candidate to do that, then it will. The divine is not limited to what we think is going to work. It is powerful in ways that are beyond human comprehension. It is able to enact divine law and elicit restoration even when we wonder if it's all falling apart before our eyes. This doesn't mean that we give up our fight, but rather that we are renewed with optimism and enthusiasm to embrace our journey with the greatest ally working alongside us. We find comfort knowing that Great Spirit is with us, not doing for us, but neither turning away from us in our need. We feel a more peaceful trust in the ultimate success of our purpose, for no matter how many twists and turns the path takes, behind and in front of any unexpected obstacle, Great Spirit is present. Behind every at first unwanted adversary, through which we develop an important skill or deepen our unconditional reliance and trust in the divine, Great Spirit is there. For those of us that love the light and labor with great passion and perseverance, we need legitimate signs of hope to help us keep the faith in our progress and trust in the value of our contribution, for the evidence of good works is not always seen straight away. That the spiritual worlds love us enough to send us saviors is a testament to just how closely we are held and known in the divine heart. These divine beings help us when we are struggling to make the transition into the next stage of our spiritual evolution, individually and collectively. Savior beings are our spiritual midwives, the birthing mothers and protective fathers who are guiding the human collective into spiritual maturity. White Buffalo Woman brings you the saving grace to progress spiritually and to know in your heart and soul that you shall see the sacred restored to its rightful place and spiritual harmony between heaven and earth. For the healing process, with one hand on your heart, say aloud, "Such is your love, Great Spirit, that our every human need is anticipated, and in times when we have lost our way, you send us a Savior, one who loves us with such passion and purity that they are moved to action on our behalf. May we open our hearts to such saving grace and truly embrace your ways, Great Spirit, bringing the harmony of heaven to earth. Through my own free will and divine grace, so be it." If there are names of people, including yourself, who need a blessing of hope, healing, and renewal, you can call for special assistance now by saying, I call for special assistance of divine dispensation through unconditional love, divine redemption, and mercy for, and list your chosen names of people, places, communities, groups or situations, causes or creatures that move your heart. Then simply place your hands in prayer at your heart and bow your head. If you can, imagine a powerful, shining white buffalo within your heart, radiant and kind and rare, a sign of true hope, renewal, and divine miracles of healing. Allow yourself to feel touched by the radiance, the otherworldly grace and beauty of this creature in your heart. He will fade away softly, spreading his presence out as light to all those on your list. Or, if you did not state a list, then he will spread his light to the world as a whole. Rest for a moment in the bliss of this blessing. You have completed your healing process. The last card is Anka, kin of the Red Hawk tribe. On the wings of red-tailed hawk, a divine message comes. Your spiritual maturity has evolved into genuine power and discernment. You have earned your stripes. Acknowledgement is granted. Trust yourself and your destiny. You are ready. Trust in your sense of timing, which is excellent and inspired. Allow the divine to support you as you hover until the moment comes for you to fearlessly plunge into your forthcoming adventure. A divine message is here for you now, so be open to the signs from the universe. You are more mature spiritually than you may realize. You have an ability to share wisdom and honesty with your tribe. If you are still searching for your tribe, trust yourself. You will recognize them instinctively when you meet them, even if on the outside they may seem different to you. You are seeing things clearly, so trust your vision and have patience. Speak your truth, but do so with compassion, because your words have greater influence than you may realize. When the moment is right, take action. A way will be shown for you to manifest your spiritual light in this world in practical ways. There are some on the spiritual path that claim to be more evolved than others. Of course, these are likely to be the ones learning an important lesson in humility. Then there are the souls that know they have come with a special purpose, to lead, guide, and inspire others, yet they do not feel this makes them in any way superior to another. It is simply by the way by which they can fulfill their divine destiny. These are the red-tailed hawk tribe, and you are one of their own. The red tail feathers only emerge in maturation, signifying that this bird of prey is a soul symbol for spiritual maturity and service to the tribe. This is also reflected by the red color associated with their feathers, and the base chakra from the Vedic tradition of India. Red is the color of ground, earth, belonging, family, and tribe, our material reality, and the collective consciousness that we can create for each other to either move us forward as a race or hold each other back. Anka, or hawk, is the medicine of the messenger. This is the one who sees and feels the birth of the new world, and who recognizes that which is outmoded and belongs only to the past. It is a progressive, honest, action-oriented medicine. As a channel between higher wisdom and earthly concerns, Anka brings way to get things done in harmony with the universe. Red-tailed hawks are many in number, yet each one has a unique plumage. They are both an army and a group of individuals. So it is with your kindred soul tribe. You will have common purpose on this planet, but the way each in the tribe goes about fulfilling and expressing it will be unique. Our job is to recognize and support each other, even whilst we come from different disciplines, different backgrounds, and are approaching the same world problems with different perspectives. We may work from different places, along different routes, for the one true purpose of birthing higher consciousness on this planet. But when we realize that we belong to each other in our common purpose, though sometimes it may be hiding under quirky differences of character and expression, we feel a sense of belonging, connected through an invisible but palpable thread of soul. To fully embrace the supportive power of your soul tribe, both in the spiritual realms and the earthly world, you will feel the healing required around family, friends, and various types of community, including religious and business communities, where you have held wounding. Insecurities about being marked as an outcast, abandonment, and rejection can create unconscious defensiveness that keeps people away. Once you may have needed those psychological walls to hold you up until you healed your wounds and grew strong enough to thrive through tearing them down. Anka comes with the message that you have outgrown those old ways. To continue with them will keep support away from you unnecessarily. You will clearly be able to see anything unwanted that used to be held at bay by these walls. You will now be able to deal with it through your skills of honest speech and your ability to tear away the cords of connection or influence that do not serve you. For the healing process, begin by relaxing. Focus on your breath as you imagine, intend, feel, or pretend that your awareness moves away from the everyday world and follows your breath into a sacred space within you and all around you. Focus on the breath for at least 10 breaths in and out. You are now going to imagine, visualize, or intend that there is a magnificent red-tailed hawk sitting atop an ancient sacred spiritual book. The hawk is gazing steadily at you. You see that this book has your name upon the cover. The hawk suddenly alights from the book, and the motion causes the book to open at a particular page. You're going to see, feel, absorb, or read that page now with your soul. You may or may not see, hear, or feel images and words. It may simply be that you are willing to remain open and allow the wisdom to soak straight into your soul. When you are ready, relax and slowly begin to focus on your breath, grounding yourself by moving first your hands and feet, and then your whole body as you come back into the here and now. You have completed your healing process. That's it for the reading today. Thank you for watching.